So Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 is coming in days. And I haven't been this hyped up for something in a long time. I want to, first of all, say that I did give my predictions all the way back when Part 2 ended. I gave some predictions about where I think it's going to go. On this video, I want to go into more details. Now, what I'm about to talk about is my prediction, not necessarily what is going to happen, because I don't know. I know that the episodes have been sent out. Screeners of the episodes have been sent to certain reviewers. I was not one of them, unfortunately. I wish I was. I should have been, but I'm not. So, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 I have not seen yet. So this information, I'm going to take what I said before, but I'm also going to mix it in with the stuff that we got in the trailer. I did do a trailer breakdown as well. I'll leave links to all that at the end of this video for you to check it out. So, as I said in my prediction, and please make sure you're caught up to at least all the way up to Part 2. Kwan's death shut the tournament down temporarily. I think that Terry Silver will manipulate Gunther and the board of the Sekai Taikai to bring the tournament back to the Valley. And I think that that will eventually lead for them to pick up where they left off. I don't think we're going to get like the other like dojos fighting. I don't believe we're going to get that, because if you remember, what we were supposed to get, and it didn't wind up happening, is it was supposed to be Kwan had already advanced, and it was supposed to be the winner of Robby and Axel go up against Kwan. Then over on the girls' side, it's supposed to be Samantha versus Tory, and the winner of that fight gets Zara Malik. Both, of course, being from the Iron Dragons. I think that they're gonna restart the tournament, and they're gonna train really hard. I think Tory will probably train alone, just like how Robby did in Season 1. However, I think that all the stuff that Samantha told her about how her friends can be her family and all that, I think that'll come into play. So at some point, she probably will train with Miyagi-Do and Johnny. I think that what they're going to end up doing is they're going to have Axel versus Robby, probably episode 12. I think episode 11 is going to be a big setup. And actually, it could be episode 13, but I'm guessing 12. And in my original prediction, I predicted that Axel was going to beat Robby. I think either one of two things is going to happen. Either Axel will beat Robby, but it'll be a much closer fight than people think, to where Robby will get some points on the board. Or Axel will do an illegal move and injure Robby, taking him out, and therefore Axel advances. Now, in theory, it should be a disqualification, but I think, like what we saw in Season 4, there's a possibility that Terry Silver could pay off the referees and the judges to not count it. Now, again, I don't know this for certain, but it's possible. So I think Robby, and I always thought that Robby kind of deserved to win, since his storyline has always been that he's second place, even though that could also lead to a story much later on if they ever revive this show or do a movie. I'm gonna talk more about Robby in a minute. I really thought Robby should have won this whole thing. I really thought they were gonna do that. However, it seems like everything's going back to Miguel and back to Season 1. And I think Robby will show that he's got heart. He will show that he's a true warrior, but ultimately he will go down, probably not before at least scarring Axel. Meaning, he's going to hit him with a big shot. You understand what I'm saying? Not necessarily knock him out, but like stagger him. Like, Robby's not going to go down like a jobber. Okay? At some point, Kreese will turn on his master and say, we can't go around killing kids. Because, the master wanted to kill a bunch of the students, like, to get revenge for Kwan dying. But it was Kwan's fault. Kwan grabbed the knife. Kwan tried to kill Axel, and Axel was defending himself. Remember, Axel is not, in and of himself, a bad guy. What did Mr. Miyagi say in Karate Kid Part 1? No such thing as bad student, only bad teacher. It's more so the fact that Sensei Wolf is abusive to Axel and it makes him tough, but Axel's never really felt a connection or friendship, which is why he was so enamored with the attention that Samantha gave him in part 2. So I think that at some point Samantha's probably not going to fight. Like for the girl side, she's probably going to drop out. Now I'm not sure how I feel about that because that's another thing where she's kind of been put on the sidelines. But the problem is giving everyone like the happiest ending possible is just not going to happen. There's going to be some people that are going to be upset. I don't think it's an issue because ultimately she was never, like, her rival was Tory. And once that rivalry was settled, Tory has more of a beef with Zara Malik than Samantha does. I think Samantha will keep her karate training for her life to protect her, but she's not really somebody who I think wants to go around winning tournaments and things like that. She might want to. I mean, she did talk about how I would put them on a platform if they won, but I still feel like that's not going to be in the cards. But we could see Samantha and Tory again. I don't know why they wouldn't have shown that in the trailers, but I think Tory will advance and face off against Zara Malik in the final. So what's going to happen is, and I said this in my prediction video, but at some point Kreese will have a change of heart and there will be an emotional moment with Johnny, and he will give Johnny Cobra Kai back. And because Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do is eliminated when Axel defeats Robby, I think it'll be Cobra Kai, now run by Johnny Lawrence with the black and the yellow. Remember, they wear black and yellow stripes. They will figure out a way in the tournament to finagle the rosters to where, because remember, they teased this in part 2 when Terry Silver went to Kenny and was like, you know, the rules are very loose when it comes to the roster changes. I can put you on my team. Like, he wanted to put Kenny in the Iron Dragon. So I think Johnny will take back Cobra Kai away from the Koreans. And I think Johnny is going to be the captain of Cobra Kai. Maybe with John Kreese, like, also there. And it'll be Miguel, like he was in Season 1, against Axel in the males final. And Zara versus Tory. Now, remember in part 2 when Tory said, I'm going to leave you on the mat picking up your own teeth? Why do I not think that there might be a possibility that Tory might actually knock out one of or several of Zara's teeth? Remember, Zara's a social media, like in the story, she's a social media like superstar. She's obviously got a lot of simps because she's hot. And if her smile is ruined, what's that going to do to her mentally? Because she's going to think she's ugly. And that's ultimately the best payback Tory can give, knocking her out. I think it could happen. I think we will see it. I would like it to where Sam trains Tory. I would like that very much. Don't know if it'll happen though. And while that's going on, I think Miguel will fight Axel. And this is my guess. There will come a time when the fight is looking grim and Johnny will give Miguel a pep talk. I think it'll be like the pep talk that Rocky gave Donnie in Creed. Johnny will actually tell Miguel that he loves him like a son, which he does, and that Robby and Miguel are both his sons now, and the daughter on the way. So obviously, you know, the daughter will be born and that'll go, you know, that story will continue. But I think what'll happen is he'll be in the corner, and then what I would do is I would have Daniel LaRusso tell Miguel, no mercy. That's right, Daniel will tell Miguel no mercy. And then he'll turn around and they'll do the slow-mo, and this is where they're going to play You're the Best Around. I think this is the moment where Miguel is going to smash Axel and score several points. Remember, the captain's fights are not 3 points and you win. They're not point-based like that. you score a point, you score unlimited points until the time is up. So you could knock Axel down, you could, hit him. You can basically score a shit ton of points. So I think that Miguel will go in there and outclass Axel. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but he'll do it while you're the best around plays, and I'll be an emotional wreck at this point. And then Miguel will defeat Axel. Eventually, though, I think Miguel and Axel will end up being friends, or at least respect each other when all is said and done. I think at some point, Terry Silver's probably going to die. We're going to find out about that illness. I don't know how, but it'll probably be in the last episode. And Kreese might die too. But I think what will happen is Cobra Kai's 2 captains will win. But because of all the points that Iron Dragon scored, it's not enough. And the tiebreaker ends up being Johnny Lawrence against Sensei Wolf. In which case, Johnny will be coached by John Kreese, like how he was before. And Wolf will be coached by Terry. And I think Johnny will defeat Wolf, maybe even with the crane kick. Maybe even with the crane kick. With the idea being that, Daniel LaRusso is the Karate Kid, but so was Johnny. And now Miguel is the Karate Kid. So I think Cobra Kai wins. I think Johnny reopens Cobra Kai to help students who have been bullied, not to do anything else, but to help students that want to learn martial arts to defend themselves from bullies. I think we may see Kreese and Silver fight again, in which case one or both may die. I don't think that Sensei Kim and Chosen are going to end up together. I think Chosen will go back to Japan, to Okinawa, to visit Kumiko, and then realize that the guy that was at Kumiko's house isn't actually with her. And then they'll get together, and there you go. And what I'm hoping happens, this is knock on wood, I hope that Julie Pierce shows up from the next Karate Kid, not necessarily to throw a kick, but to talk to Daniel about Miyagi. And I think the story will be closed, and she will tell Daniel the truth about Miyagi, about how he was a very flawed man, but he became a better man. Because ultimately, Miyagi is a lot like Johnny Lawrence. He's a fuck up. He made mistakes when he was younger. He did bad things. The death of his wife and kid and other events shaped him into being this gentle old master everybody loves. But he wasn't always like that, especially when he was younger. And the story, I think, is going to be that Miyagi confessed a lot to her and not to Daniel because he didn't want to break Daniel's, idealism of Miyagi. But Miyagi was a flawed man. But that's okay because we're all flawed as people. You understand what I'm saying? We're all flawed. I think that before the Sensei Wolf fight, I think Johnny will be trained by a combination of Daniel. This is what I hope we see. Daniel, Mike Barnes, John Kreese, and Chosen. They all take turns training Johnny. And that could kind of be the closure of the John Kreese story. In that John Kreese was somewhat redeemed because of what happened to Quan. And John Kreese admits that, Vietnam War messed with his brain, man. That's what I would do. And I don't know what the fate of Sensei Wolf will be, but I could see Axel maybe joining Johnny's Cobra Kai at the very, 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 very end and being one of his students. I think Daniel will buy the entire plaza. That's what I think. And let Johnny run the Cobra Kai Academy there. But of course, not in the old way, in the good way to help kids, and young people and even adults defend themselves. I think that would be phenomenal. So I believe that's going to be the story. I could see it to where both the Binary brothers go to MIT. I think Miguel might go to college with Sam. I could see, however, Tory and Robby either being instructors at Johnny's Cobra Kai or opening up their own business. That's my guess. You know what I mean? There's things they could do. But I would love it if Cobra Kai became Johnny's school, but he's got other instructors like Tory and Robby. Tory, of course, being an All Valley champion and the Sekai Taikai champion, and Robby being a runner-up, which is unfortunate. I do hope that they write the Robby story right. I hope that Miguel at least, elevates Robby, and he's like, this is, they're brothers now. Like, they are brothers now. The rivalry is over. And that's what I think they're going to do. I'm hoping for some really, really great action and great emotional fights and music. That's what I want. That's what I want. So, what do you want? You think I'm crazy? Let me know in the comments. We got days until Cobra Kai. I cannot wait. I'm losing sleep over it, but it should be a good time. I will see you then. More videos to come.